This is King Ambarish's ongoing prayers to the Sudarshan disc of the Lord. I think it's from text, 3 to 11. He offers these prayers. Translation, O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are as quick as the mind, and you are able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering all obeisances unto you. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The disc of the Lord is called Sudarshan because he does not discriminate between high and low criminals or demons. Durvasa Muni was certainly a powerful Brahmana, but his acts against the pure devotee, Maharaj Ambarish, were no better than the activities of asuras. As stated in the Shastras, Dharmang tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The word dharma refers to the orders or laws given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekang sharanang braja. Real dharma is surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, real dharma means bhakti, or devotional service to the Lord. The Sudarshan chakra is here addressed as Dharma Setave, the protector of dharma. Maharaj Ambarish was a truly religious person, and consequently, for his protection, the Sudarshan chakra was ready to punish even such a strict Brahman as Durvasa Muni, because he had acted like a demon. There are demons, even in the form of Brahmanas. Therefore, the Sudarshan chakra does not discriminate between Brahmana demons and Shudra demons. Anyone against the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees is called a demon. In the Shastras, we find many Brahmanas and Kshatriyas who acted as demons and have been described as demons. According to the verdict of the Shastras, one has to be understood according to his symptoms. If one is born of a Brahmana father but his symptoms are demoniac, he is regarded as a demon. The Sudarshan chakra is always concerned with annihilating the demons. Therefore, he is described as Adharma Shila Suradhuma Ketave. Those who are not devotees are called Adharma Shila. The Sudarshan chakra is just like an inauspicious comet for all such demons. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namah Shuna Bhakila Dharma Setave Hyadharma Shilasura Dhuma Ketave Trailokya Gopaya Vishuddha Vartase Mano Javayad Bhuta Karmane Grine. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master is opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. There are so many stories and so many histories and so many adventures in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But because it is the Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana, they are chosen by Srila Vyasadeva to bring us to the point of pure devotion. We didn't come here because we're angels. Originally we are. We're of Krishna, part and parcel. Of God, individual, parcel. But we've made a wrong turn due to the littleness of our existence, Prabhupada describes in Gita 5.15 purport. We're prone to be foolish, even though we are Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Our true nature is dependent on our yoga, our connection with Krishna. Just like, say you're a parent and you take your little child to a fair. Do they have fairs here? They must have fairs, yeah. Carnivals, fairs, yeah. So maybe during the course of taking the child around, the child just wants to go to explore himself the fair. But he's only 3 years old maybe, or 4. So his well-being is dependent on how well he holds on to his parents' hands. As soon as he decides to let go and run away, anything could happen. He's going to drown, he's going to get cut, he's going to get burned, he's going to, anything. So that's our predicament. We've turned our back on Krishna, anadi bahirmukh, from time immemorial, time beyond memory. And we trying to go it alone. And it never works. The God project we have never works. So this Leela, the Ambarish Durvasa Leela, is chosen by Srila Vyasadeva to teach us what a real devotee is like. I mean, I can't even imagine this. That Maharaj Ambarish, he was hosting Durvasa Muni, and it happened, as you know from the Leela, it happened on an Ekadashi. He met him, and then he wanted to, on the Dwadashi actually. Yeah, it happened on the Dwadashi. So Maharaj Ambarish was very pleased to receive the great famous Durvasa Muni, the great devotee of Lord Shiva, full of mystic powers. And he also shares Shiva's nature. He's easily pleased, but he's also easily angered. So the Muni goes to bathe. This is Dwadashi now. And then Maharaj Ambarish notices that while the Muni's bathing, the time for breaking the Ekadashi is passing. So he does something that's actually authorized. He takes a little water, because drinking water is considered, fasting and not fasting. So, but as soon as he does that, Durvasa is such a mystic that he knows that what Maharaj Ambarish has done. And what has he done? He's taken a little water. But he's offended that my host has taken something before me. So he comes back, and what does he do? He creates this big fiery demon, to attack Maharaj Ambarish. But Maharaj Ambarish, even though he doesn't have the same kinds of mystic powers Durvasa Muni does, he's a king. He's a very worldly person, dealing in pounds, shilling, pence, so many queens, so many affairs of state. But he's a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayo. All those 9 processes of devotional service are being performed by Maharaj Ambarish. So Durvasa is conditioned. He's used to thinking that his powers, are undefeatable, will always protect him. But even though Maharaj Ambarish doesn't have that power, he has Krishna. So when that fiery demon appears, he just folds his palms and just surrenders to the Lord, whatever you want, Lord. And immediately, what happened? Sudarshan, the vision of God, the eye of God, comes and immediately finishes off the demon and starts chasing Durvasa. And he's such a yogi, he can go anywhere. Like Narada Muni, he can go anywhere in the material, spiritual worlds. He's got his passport, right? He's got his visa. He can go anywhere. But he can't get any relief from the chakra, no matter where he goes. Wherever he goes, what do they say? Wherever I go, there I am. Yeah, so his karma is chasing him. And even Lord Narayan says, I'm sorry, I can't help you. As you read in the last chapter, I think it's 9:468. Saints are in my heart and I'm in the hearts of the saints. They own me. If you want relief from this fiery disc, you better go to my devotee and beg forgiveness. So that's what Durvasa Muni has done. But Maharaj Ambarish is such a devotee that even though he's been, unfairly, cursed and confronted by this big fiery demon, he doesn't. A devotee of Maharaj Ambarish's caliber, he doesn't take offense. He doesn't take offense. It's such a reminder, huh? That whenever I feel offended, wait a minute, if I feel offended, what kind of a devotee am I? I'm taking offense. Who do I think I am? There's a nice course in Mayapur offered. Maybe it's been taught here. You know Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj from South Africa? Yeah. So has he taught his Bhakti Sadachar course here? It's a comprehensive course on Sadachar, Vaishnav behavior, Vaishnav etiquette, Vaishnav relationship, Vaishnav community. What a course! And there's one lesson on I forget the name of the lesson. It's either on forgiveness or offenses. Anyway, the ultimate solution for uprooting anarthas in this course is that you go to a devotee whom you feel has offended you, right? You feel has offended you. But then you beg that devotee's forgiveness for taking offense. This is called radical bhakti. For me, my mind. So Maharaj Ambarish, he's mortified that this Durvasa Muni, this famous yogi, has finally come back to him. He's come full circle, right? He started right there. He tried to kill Maharaj Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish didn't even take offense. He just, whatever you like, Lord, I'm surrendered to you. And so, now, of course, the Lord just, through his Sudarshan weapon, just finished off the demon and started chasing Durvasa, who was a great yogi, but he was acting like a demon. Yeah. So Durvasa, he's begging, he's terrified. He's not used to this. He's not used to being terrified. He's used to, doing what he wants by his mystic powers. So he's begging the king's forgiveness, and Maharaj Ambarish, being a great devotee, really great, he's just mortified that here's his great personality bowing down to me. I'm just a king. He's thinking, I'm just a king. What is he? He's a great yogi. So immediately he's praying to the Sudarshan disc for the welfare of his assailant, Durvasa Muni. That's Vaishnav. This is true Vaishnav. And he starts by, praising the Lord. Krishna, he's Chakradhari. He's the upholder of the chakra. He can withdraw the chakra, but he's purchased, he's owned by the devotee. So he says to Durvasa, you have to beg forgiveness from him. But this is the nature of a devotee of Ambarish's caliber. He doesn't become his enemy's enemy. No matter what happens, he's wishing everyone well. So he's going to beg, first he's praising the chakra, and then he's going to beg that the chakra spare Durvasa's life. The disc of the Lord is called Sudarshan because he does not discriminate between high and low criminals or demons. Similarly, in the universal form chapter, when Arjuna is beholding Krishna in this terrifying form, adbhuta, wonderful but also terrifying. He says, similar prayer actually, 1136. Stane hrishikesha tava prakirtya jagat parushyat yanurajyate cha rakshangsi bitani dishodravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangham. Oh Rishikesh, the whole world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. But the demons flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So Arjuna is in wonder, and he's going to go to being totally terrified. But Maharaj Ambarish, he wasn't afraid of the fiery demon, nor is he afraid of the Sudarshan Chakra, because he's just seeing Krishna everywhere. That's why he's not afraid. Yomang pashati sarvatra sarvang chamai pashati tasyahang na pranashyami sachame na pranashati. Krishna says in 6:30 Gita, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost. Nor is he ever lost to me. So Srila Prabhupada's purport is rather challenging, because he reminds us, because after all, this is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy and bluff and pretense, and right. He reminds me that just because this morning I put on tilak and a dhoti and kurta and kanti mala, that doesn't make me a Vaishnav. Maybe there's something in me that's a Vaishnav. Guaranteed there is. So reading Prabhupada's purport kind of reminded me of a book Satsvarup Maharaj wrote once upon a time called Am I a Vaishnav or a Demon? Or am I a demon or a Vaishnav? In the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it's called The Divine and Demoniac Natures. The first 3 verses, Krishna describes the divine nature. And then, for most of the rest of the chapter, Krishna is describing the demoniac nature. So it might seem lopsided. Why did Krishna describe the demoniac nature? Raise your hand, tell me. Why does Krishna spend most of the time? Because that's what's happened to us. Yes. We're all originally of Krishna, but now we've come really covered over. So it's Krishna's mercy, because he wants us to recognize what we've become, and then he gives us the antidote too. I mean, these qualities, even in the Sanskrit, they sound demoniac. Dumbo. Dumbo darpo. Dumbo darpo bimanascha krodha padashameva cha agyanam chavijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Pride, that's always the first one. That's why we're here. Pride goeth before destruction and the fall before... No, pride goeth before a haughty spirit and the fall before destruction. Did I get it right? Pride goeth before the fall and destruction before a haughty spirit. Forgive my... It's in the Bible. I forget which way it is. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah. Okay. And then it gets better. Listen to this. Yeah, 7 through 15. Krishna really gets into it. Because he wants to, he's holding a mirror up so we can take a good look. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal. Right? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Sounds harmless. It's actually demoniac from Krishna's point of view. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. And that's the fruit of this seemingly innocuous take on reality. Life is but a dream. No. If life is but a dream, if there's no God in control, it's just all about lust, then you end up doing things that are horrible. And Prabhupada says this verse indirectly anticipates the invention of atomic weapons, to destroy the world. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Sworn to unclean work. Griha Bratan. Prahlad said to his father, you've taken a vow of sense gratification, my dear father, so don't worry, there's no chance you'll ever become Krishna conscious. You've taken this firm vow of sense gratification. And then Krishna does Krishna, he's the supreme everything. So Krishna, he's an impressionist too. So now he does an impression of the demon. Oh, not yet, quite yet. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable because it doesn't work. It never works. It's just false advertising. If you only had this, if you only did that, it never works. Immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds and thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. And then here's the impression. I love the Sanskrit's nice too, but I'll just read the English. The demoniac person thinks. So when you hear this, take inventory. If your inner demon is in there, it's time to cast out demons. Dispel, exorcise. Not exorcise the demon, but exorcise the demon, right? The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. Isn't that how the mind thinks, right? I am perfect. But I'll just keep. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. And then Krishna ends his impression, and he adds an aside in the last line. This is Krishna's aside. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. And how did Prabhupada say the word ignorance? Ignorance. It's an active. Ignorance is not passive. We choose to ignore Krishna. Yeah. But Krishna never leaves us in the lurch. He always gives us the antidote. So, let's see. There's more demoniac verses. But, let's look at actually right up front. Krishna front-loaded, as they say, the chapter with divine qualities and assured Arjuna that you're of the divine nature. Don't worry. You're my devotee. And we're all, just like Arjuna, we're also in the chariot of the body. Krishna's God is my pilot, God is my co-pilot, they say, if we listen. So, that's what we've, become covered by, and here's what we need to, here's what we are when we are uncovered. Fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor, as one American president once put it. It's amazing how much you can get done when no one cares who takes the credit, who gets the credit. Confirmed. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Yeah. And there's an even better list, or there's not better, but it's more spelled out. You know, in the 12th chapter of the Gita, after Krishna says, if you can't do this, do this. If you can't do that, do that. Then, after that sequence, where Krishna really extends himself down, even Prabhupada talks about, so maybe due to social, religious, or familial considerations, you find you can't even be sympathetic to the cause of Krishna consciousness. So then just try to do some good in the world. Be sacrificing. Because Prabhupada says, by that sacrificial process, you'll come to understand. Jai Suresvara Gokulananda. Just by adopting the mood of sacrifice, someday you'll come to the point of understanding that the greatest sacrifice, the greatest welfare work is Krishna consciousness. Because that gets to the root of the problem, consciousness. So I'll just read. So then, Krishna ended the chapter. It's a very short chapter, only 20 verses. Chapter 12 and chapter 15 only have 20 verses. So then Krishna starts itemizing, what a devotee's like. And the first verse especially here, verse, 13, 14? Yeah. They really are describing Maharaj Ambarish. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor, and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. And then there's so many other verses that follow that. And then in the last verse, 15:20, Krishna, it's two varies, bhaktas te tiva, very, very dear to me. So here, I'll just read the last one. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So it's not that, when this fiery demon appeared before Maharaj Ambarish, that somehow he lost his faith, he called the fire department, maybe there's somebody else that can save me here, No, Krishna, he's my protector in all circumstances. So this is a devotee, and this is what we have to uncover in ourselves. Tatikshava karunaka suridang sarvadehinam ajata shatravakshanta. What's the last line? Sadhavak sadhu bhushanam. Yeah. This is Lord Kapila Dev instructing his mother. And he describes the saint. Tatikshava karunaka. Not only is a saintly person tolerant, but he's merciful, even when somebody's tormenting him. There's a famous survivor of the Holocaust, the Nazi pogrom of the Jews in World War II. His name was Viktor Frankl. Anybody ever heard of Viktor Frankl? Yes. So he wrote many books after he survived the Holocaust. And the first book he wrote, in the year I was born, 1946, it was published. It was called Man's Search for Meaning. And he described his experience in the concentration camps, in the Nazi death camps. And Viktor Frankl said he noticed that those of his fellow Jews who chose to be terrified and hate their captors, they quickly perished. But Viktor Frankl said he chose to pity his captors and even befriend some of them. And so because he chose that attitude, he actually was protected by people that were supposed to. He got some friends even among the SS Nazi guards. So his famous line from that book, after he survived, was, "The last of the human freedoms is the freedom to choose one's attitude." Nobody can ever take that away from us. And in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada writes in the topic sentence of one of the last paragraphs in the preface, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. That's what really endears us to Krishna. The attitude with which we're doing our devotional service. It's the mood. It's the attitude. Yeah. So, let's see. When I read this, I was thinking, when I was a young man, 1971, we were opening up the second farm at New Vrindavan. The original parcel was 90 acres, owned by a Mr. Rose, who sold to some devotees some land. And then in 71, that was in 68, and then in 71, we got a few more parcels. So we were pioneering, myself and another brahmachari and a grihasta couple were pioneering this new parcel. And we were living in a rundown stone shack that didn't even have running water or a proper stove or anything. The lady of the house, the wife of the husband, she had to cook over really sooty, smoky fire. And every time she needed water, she had to go to the well right outside to get some water. And furthermore, her husband was always on her case. So one day I said to the lady, I don't think we said Mataji in those days. Yeah, we just said the name. Sandini. Sandini. How do you do it? How do you tolerate all of this? How do you tolerate the conditions we're living in? And she was pregnant too with her first daughter. Yeah. Who was born on Radhastami. Her name was Radhastami, daughter. But she was pregnant at the time. How do you do it? I mean, your husband's always on your case, and you have to put up with so many conditions. And this lady, she just got this smile on her face, and she took me to the next room, where it was a kind of kitchen, but there was no running water. It was, and she pointed to a sign that she made. I think she knew how to do calligraphy, so she made a sign. It was one line from Krishna book. One's greatness has to be measured by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. I thought, wow, this lady is living on one line from Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna book. All obeisances, yeah. So that's a through and through full-fledged devotee. Even when we're put into difficulty, we're in the tenu kampam mood, the attitude of gratitude. That's the kind of the devotee punchline to what Viktor Frankl wrote. Whatever comes our way, whether it appears to be good or appears to be bad, Krishna, if it appears to be good, I don't deserve this, Krishna, but let me use this facility you're sending in your service. And if it appears to be bad, oh Lord, you're so kind, I deserve much worse. I'm such a rascal. Let me tolerate it and just expect your mercy. This is the attitude of a full-fledged devotee. Yeah. So you think, like Maharaj Yudhisthira never really bore any grudges against the Kurus, even though when they were kids, they were trying to kill them, and they were exiled in the forest. And even after the war was over, why? Why did all this have to happen? Just so I could be king? No. Anyway. So Krishna describes the demoniac qualities and he describes the divine qualities. And even though they might seem so far away, actually they're very close. Because that's who we are. We're diamonds in the rough. And by practicing devotional service, we get clean. It does get better. Take it from Uncle Suresvara. Gets better. Just hang on to your beads. Take inventory. Be a little introspective. Here's one of my favorite lines from the 4th canto. A devotee is as thoughtful as a non-devotee is speculative. Isn't that interesting? In both cases, the mind is going. The mind never sleeps. But in one case, the mind is grounded in introspection in terms of sudarshan. You have the vision. Shastra chakshusha. We get the God vision by immersing ourselves in Krishna vision. Krishna's vision. We get the Krishna view. A devotee is as thoughtful as a non-devotee is so speculative in this context means that the mind's going, but it's got no anchor. It's got no shelter. It's just, you know how it is when you blow up a balloon? You must blow up a lot of balloons around here. You're always having festivals. And then you blow up a balloon, but you don't tie it. You just open up and then it goes, right? So that's what the mind is, ungrounded. And it's maddening. It just drives you mad. So, thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving all of these wonderful verses and weaving in your Bhaktivedanta purports with his unprecedented realizations. He not only had the commentaries of 12 previous acharyas, but he was always doing a sandarbha. He was always doing a weave of his unprecedented realizations as he was exploding Krishna consciousness all over the world. So I'm going to read the verse again. If you have any questions or comments, please ask. This is Ambarish praying to Sudarshan, the vision of Krishna, auspicious vision. O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the 3 worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are as quick as the mind, and you are able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word, Namaha, offering all obeisances unto you. Jai Ho. Questions or comments?